everyone. Welcome back to our video series on these logical fallacies, and I hope you're enjoying them and enjoying also how Dr. J with us here in studio have been unpacking them for you. Today is yet another logical fallacy that a Muslim debater possibly, or even Muslim friend that you're talking to, whether intentionally or unintentionally, they will bring it up, which is the appeal to force. And this one is a bit tricky because it could have some intimidation embedded in it as well. With us here, Dr. J, who probably have experienced quite a few of those in his career. Dr. J?
Yeah, this is a step up from the one we just did, Ad Hominem. When Ad Hominem doesn't work, they then go and they step it up a gear and say, okay, if you keep doing what you're saying, Mr. Smith, be careful. We're going to get you. Or be careful on your ride home. Twice I had people, young men, who would come up to me and whisper to me as I was getting off the ladder, be careful, Mr. Smith. Do not go home the way you normally go home. There are some hotheads from the mosque who are going to try to follow you. And I said, why are you telling me this? It's because our imam wants you to be careful because we don't want anything to happen to you. Because if something happened to you, it would be all over the newspapers. And it's a very real threat. For those of us who are in public sphere, who actually get out in public, like myself and Hatun, who actually were in public for, in my case, 25 years, where they could really attack us. And they really could hurt us. And I did get hurt. I got beat up quite often. I got my glasses broken maybe 2 or 3 times. They opened up my throat once. And so that is a real threat. And this happens normally in a very public case. For those of you who are in discussion, especially on YouTube, or if you're doing a Zoom conversation, don't worry about it. They will do ad hominem all they can. They may say something at this point where we're going to get you, or be careful, we know where you live. And they may even put the address out there. What's that called?
Doxing.
Doxing. We will dox you. Then you have to take it seriously. But in most cases, it's brought up in, we're going to get you at some point, Mr. Smith, if you continue to say this. If you continue to go on, and that usually pulls. Almost every Christian I know, when this happens, they pull back, which is unfortunate. Because they take it as serious. And I always have to say, hold on a minute, how many people you know, how many Christians you know who are confronting Islam have been killed here in the United States or in Europe? I can think of maybe 1 or 2 right off the top of my head. I know Salman Rushdie, they're still trying to kill, and that's a real case. But I said the people who are really going to get killed are not you and me. It's going to be people like you, Al-Fadi, or Hatun Tash. Anybody who is an apostate, they're the ones going to be killed. So you have a much more difficult situation than me. But I don't pay attention to these death threats anymore. I don't pay attention to these threats that you get, because even when they come up, even when they hit you in the face, as I've been hit a number of times, I can sometimes see the guys coming to me who are going to hit me, and I will stop what I'm saying, point to the character. I said, everybody memorize his face. He's going to hit me. He's about ready to do it. Watch and see what he does. And usually by that time, that's the best way to nip that in the bud. He'll then realize everybody's looking. He just turns around and walks the other way. So that stops that. But you can't always see it coming. You don't always know who's going to do the hitting.
That's right, yeah.
So you have to just be prepared for that. But what I would do whenever I got knocked off the ladder, and I would get knocked off the ladder, my glasses would go one way, I'd go the other. I'd go get my glasses. Once or twice they're broken. I still put them on. I even have blood coming down my nose, because when you hit my glasses, it'll break open my nose. And I would just continue as if nothing happened. I try to remember what I'd last said and then continue to speak. That shuts that down really quick. And it also quiets the crowd. And then you've got the moral high ground. So use it to your advantage. If they start giving you death threats, or if they give you any kind of threats, just say to the person, okay, why is it you have to threaten me? What is it about what I'm saying that causes you so much anger that you have to threaten me now? That you have to threaten my family, or that you even have to try to somehow accost me? Why is it you're yelling in my face and you're about ready to hit me in the face? What's wrong? What's happened here? Why is it we can't have a reasoned debate? Why is it that you don't see me threatening you? Why is it you never see Christians threaten Muslims? We don't do it. We don't need to, because our material is so good that we don't, and we wouldn't anyways, because Christ said very clearly, put away the sword. He who lives by the sword dies by the sword. Why would we ever use violence to get a point across? The gospel, by definition, is the gospel of peace. We have all the right to just preach what we know. So when the threats do come, and they will come, remember that's all they are. We used to say when we were kids, Sticks and stones will break my bones, but words will never hurt me. If these are just words they're throwing at you, don't worry about it. They're just words. You don't have to worry about it, especially if you're not an apostate. Now, you do. So that's why I say don't go in public places like we do. Let us do that part of it. But don't also take it seriously. And for heaven's sakes, if they're going to do that, they're going to walk right into a trap, point it out to the crowd. Do you notice how they're now threatening me? Notice how they're using ad hominem? Notice how they're now going the next step and they're actually saying that I will be killed or some of my family? The other one that I want to point out is when Christians use this. And this is why I say very clearly. There are many Christians who have come up to me and said, because of what you're saying here, Mr. Smith, someone in Afghanistan is going to die, or Christians in Nigeria are going to die. I've had this happen to me all the times. And I say to Christians, would you please stop this? You don't have any proof of what you have said. I had one man go to I won't tell you his name, he went to the head of my mission organization, and he actually wanted me to be thrown out of my mission because I supposedly was the one who incited Boko Haram in Nigeria to do all these mass killings that happened up in the Northeast.
Wow.
And they were claiming that I was responsible for that.
You have that much power, Jay.
And I remember we finally had to meet at a restaurant and hammer this out. And I turned to this individual who is a very well-known Islamicist. He's no longer living right now. And I said, can you give me one shred of proof? You don't even think Boko Haram knows who I am? What I'm saying at Speaker's Corner in London will not affect those who are in Nigeria. And especially with the material we're using today, we don't get death threats anymore with a historical critique because it's so neutral. So we need to make sure that we don't shut ourselves down, that we don't take this seriously. You have to take it seriously, but I don't. And most of all of us who are working and engaging with Muslims, would you please stop this? Because it almost paralyzes us when we get these threats. And we must, this is as fallacious as you can get. It's a logical fallacy that can actually be detrimental to our ministry.
Right. Why do you think, I understand when the Muslim will say things like this, but why do you think some of our fellow Christians want to also take that route and make such false claims, or at least unsubstantiated claims? Did Jesus really watch his words so some of the people will not be beaten up by the Pharisees, for instance?
In fact, in Matthew 10, he says the exact opposite will happen. Expect to be threatened. Expect to be persecuted. Expect to be jailed. Expect to be beaten. Expect to be killed. Those are the 5 things that he promises in the commissioning of the 12 disciples. And he says, I have not come to bring peace. I've come to bring the sword, to set father against son and mother against daughter. It's going to come against you. I have come to bring the sword against you. Not that we're to use the sword's going to be used against us. So if it should not be something that we should ever bow to. It's what happened to every one of the disciples. They were all hated, all persecuted. Every one was put in jail. They were all flogged. And every one of the disciples, except for John, was killed. So this is something that should be normal for us. We should not run away from it, and we should not, for heaven's sakes, stop what we're doing. It's nothing more than a logical fallacy.
And this one is interesting because I thought Islam is a religion of peace, right?
Okay.
But yet, when you study the alleged history of Islam, Muhammad supposedly sent letters to people saying, Aslim taslam, convert to Islam and you'll be safe. Safe from what?
Exactly, from being killed.
Safe from what?
Yeah. And as far as answering your question, why do Christians do this? I think a lot of them is because they feel what you and I are doing threatens them, because they don't want to have to do what we're doing. And what I say to Christians, rather than trying to shut us down and trying to make us feel guilty for something that has nothing to do with what we're saying, give us the freedom to do that. I'm not asking you to do it, but let us do it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And we'll be doing it, would love to do it gladly. The Lord has given us this platform, and our goal is to equip our fellow Christians. We're saying, hey, we'll take the beating on your behalf. That's fine.
Yeah.
But we're hoping that you would take these tools and then apply them however you feel safe, if you wish.
Yeah.
Indeed, this calling is not just for everybody, but we're thankful that the Lord has given us this platform. Next time, we're going to talk about what? Imposition paradigm?
Imposition paradigm.
Right. Very good. So I hope everyone is enjoying it. Please feel free to always send us comments, whether on my channel, Dr. J's channel. Reach out to us. You can reach out to me or Dr. J through my website, CIRA International. How can people reach out to you, by the way?
pfandercenter.org.
pfandercenter.org.
PFAN.
Right.
pfandercenter.org.
Very good. All right, everyone. Hopefully you're enjoying this. Until next episode, Take care. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, share, and comment. And ring the bell so you will be notified when we release new content. Our mission is to reach Muslims with the gospel of Jesus Christ and help Christians engage with their Muslim neighbors. If you want to join us in this life-changing work, please support us on patreon.com/CIRA International, or just click on the link below.